My fiancée surprised me with a pre-wedding gift, divorce papers from her ex-husband she'd never mentioned. I read them. Married 3 years, divorced 2 weeks ago. I replied, how many husbands? When she admitted I'd be number 3. I, 31 male, was at dinner with my fiancée Veronica, 29, when she slid a gift bag across the table. Fancy restaurant, the kind with cloth napkins and waiters who refill your water after every sip. We'd been together for about 1.5 years, engaged for 4 months. Wedding was supposed to be in 6 weeks. I got you something, she said. Her voice was weird, nervous. It's not my birthday. I know, just open it. I pulled out an envelope, heavy paper, legal size, the kind that makes your stomach drop before you even open it. Divorce decree, final judgment of dissolution of marriage. Veronica Elaine Morrison and Derek Anthony Walsh, married 3 years ago. Divorce finalized 2 weeks ago. I just sat there staring at it, read it twice, then looked up at her. What is this? I wanted to be completely honest before we got married. She was doing that thing where she talks really fast when she's nervous. I was married before and I should have told you sooner, but I didn't know how, and I was scared you'd judge me. But I love you and I want us to start with no secrets, so stop. My brain was trying to do math. 3-year marriage. Divorced 2 weeks ago. We'd been dating for 18 months. You were married our entire relationship. We were separated for like over 1 year. The divorce just took forever because Derek was being difficult about everything. I looked at the paperwork again. Divorce filed 6 months ago. 6 months. We'd been engaged for 4 months. I proposed to you while you were married to someone else. Technically, yes, but no, not technically. Actually, legally, you said yes to marrying me while you were already somebody's wife. The waiter came by to take our order. I waved him away. He looked at Veronica's face and basically speed-walked in the other direction. Cameron, I know this looks bad. Looks bad? Veronica, I bought you a ring while you were married. People were starting to look. I lowered my voice. Why are you telling me this now? Why not 1 year ago? Why not when we got engaged? I was scared. I thought you wouldn't understand. So you waited until 6 weeks before the wedding? After I paid deposits on everything? After our families bought plane tickets? She reached for my hand. I pulled it back. How many times have you been married? Her face went white, like all the blood just drained out. What? Simple question. How many husbands, Veronica? The silence was loud. She looked at her plate, at her wine glass, at the ceiling. Anywhere but me. Twice, she finally whispered. You'd be number 3. I stood up, pulled out my wallet, and threw money on the table. More than enough to cover both meals. Cameron, wait. I need to think. We can talk about this. You had 18 months to talk about this. I need space. I left. She called me like 30 times on the drive home. I ignored every single one. Got home, locked the door, and just sat on my couch staring at that divorce decree. 2 weeks old. She'd had 2 weeks to tell me and waited until now. Until everything was paid for and planned and locked in. That's when it hit me. She wasn't telling me because she wanted to be honest. She was telling me because she'd run out of time. Update 1. Didn't talk to her for 3 days. She texted constantly, called from different numbers when I blocked her, showed up at my apartment once but I didn't answer the door, finally agreed to meet at a coffee shop. Neutral ground. I got there early, grabbed a table in the back. She came in looking like she'd been crying for 3 days straight. Maybe she had. Sat down across from me and immediately started talking. I'm so sorry I didn't tell you earlier. I was terrified you'd leave me. My first marriage was a huge mistake. I was only 22, he was older. I thought I was in love. It lasted like 8 months, and then we got it annulled. The thing with Derek felt more real, but we just grew apart, and by the time I met you, I was already separated, and it felt like ancient history, and I didn't think it mattered because I'd found the right person finally, and... Veronica, stop. She stopped. Husband number 1. What was his name? Antonio. Antonio who? Why does that matter? Because I want to look him up. Because apparently I don't know anything about the person I was going to marry. She gave me his last name. I wrote it down. And the annulment. You said 8 months? About that, yeah. We got married in Vegas, realized really fast it was a mistake, got it annulled. It barely even counts as a real marriage. But it was legal. Well, yeah, but... So it counts. What about Derek? When did you actually separate? Like a year before the divorce was filed. We'd been having problems and he moved out and we just never really talked to lawyers until later. Shronet, so you were technically still married but living separately when we met. Yes, but Cameron, we weren't together. It was over. But you were legally married. You could have gotten back together. He was your emergency contact. You were on his health insurance. All of that. She looked confused. I didn't think about all that. Obviously, because if you had, you would have told me. The barista called out someone's order. We both just sat there. Shut. I want to see the annulment papers from Antonio, I said, and the full divorce decree from Derek. Everything. Why? Because I deserve to know who I'm marrying. Since apparently the person I thought I knew doesn't exist. That's not fair. You being married twice before and not telling me isn't fair. You can get me those documents or we're done. Your choice. She started crying again. Full waterworks. The couple at the next table was definitely listening. You're being so cold. This isn't like you. You're right. Usually when someone lies to me for a year and a half, I'm much angrier. I'm being very calm right now. I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you. That's literally the definition of lying by omission. She grabbed her purse. I can't believe you're throwing away what we have over my past. Over things that happened before I even knew you. You being married to Derek while dating me didn't happen before you knew me. It happened the entire time we were together. I need to think about whether I even want to marry someone who can't forgive me. I almost laughed. Almost. You need to think about it? Veronica, there might not be a wedding to think about. Her face changed, got panicky. You can't cancel. Everything's paid for. My dress is being altered this week. Your parents already booked their hotel. All of that matters less than marrying someone who's been lying since the day we met. She stood up fast, chair scraping loud. I'm going to my mom's. When you calm down and stop being cruel, call me. She left. I sat there for another 20 minutes just drinking my coffee and feeling numb. My phone buzzed. Text from her, I'll get you the papers. But this is ridiculous. I love you and you're throwing it away over nothing. Over nothing. Right. 2 days later, her mom, Judith, called me. Cameron, we need to talk about what you're doing to my daughter. Hi, Judith. Don't hi Judith me. She's devastated, crying constantly. You're being incredibly cruel. I'm being cruel? She lied about being married to 2 different people. She made mistakes when she was young. Everyone makes mistakes. You're gonna punish her forever? Her last marriage ended 2 weeks ago, Judith. That's not ancient history. The marriage was over a year ago. The divorce was just paperwork. Paperwork that should have been done before she accepted my proposal. You're going to humiliate her by calling off the wedding. And there it was. Not my daughter is heartbroken, not she made a mistake, just you're going to embarrass us. She humiliated herself. I'm just dealing with it. We've put $12,000 into this wedding. $12,000. The band, the flowers, her dress, all of it. We're not getting that back if you cancel. Then maybe you should have raised a daughter who knows how to be honest. She gasped like I'd slapped her. How dare you? She's trying to fix this. She's getting you those papers you demanded. I didn't demand anything. I asked for basic information about the person I'm supposed to marry. If that's too much to ask, then yeah, we shouldn't be getting married. Her father and I won't let you humiliate this family. We'll sue you for the wedding costs. Go ahead. Get a lawyer. Explain to them that your daughter committed fraud by getting engaged while legally married to someone else. See how that goes. I hung up. Blocked her number too. The paper showed up the next day. FedEx envelope, signature required. Inside was the annulment from Antonio. Just like she said, 8 months, done 7 years ago. And the full divorce decree from Derek. I read through the whole thing, standard divorce stuff mostly, irreconcilable differences, assets divided. And then I got to the property section. They'd owned a house together. Bought it 2 years into the marriage, sold it 3 months ago. Veronica's half of the proceeds, $42,000. I called her immediately. You sold a house. Yeah, I told you we owned a house. You got $42,000 3 months ago. Pause. I had debts to pay off. What kind of debts? Credit cards from the marriage. I had to pay them off. How much? Another pause, longer this time. Around $35,000. My stomach dropped. $35,000 in credit card debt? It built up over the marriage. Derek didn't like me spending money, so I had to hide it, and it got out of control. And do you have debt now? A little. Not much. How much, Veronica? Maybe 6 or 7,000, but I'm making payments. It's under control. We'd been planning to combine bank accounts after the wedding. Open joint credit cards. I'd added her as an authorized user on my card for wedding expenses. How much have you spent on my credit card? I don't know exactly. Maybe 2,000 for wedding stuff. I pulled up my account on my phone. $4,300 in 3 months. It's over 4,000. Some of it was other stuff too, but we're getting married, so I didn't think you'd mind. We're not married yet. Cameron, we might not be getting married at all. What? No, you can't do this. You're in debt, you lied about it, and you've been using my money to pay for things without asking me. On top of lying about being married twice, how am I supposed to trust you? It's not that bad. Everyone has credit card debt. Not $7,000 after selling a house and paying off $35,000 3 months ago. That's not normal, Veronica. That's a problem. She was crying again. You're calling me names now? Saying I have problems? I'm saying I don't know you. Every conversation we have, I find out something else you've been hiding. I can't believe you're abandoning me like this. I'm not abandoning you. I'm protecting myself. I hung up. My best friend Leo came over that night with a case of beer and his Xbox. So you're really calling it off? I don't see how I can't. She's been lying about everything. What about the deposits? I'll lose most of them. Venue's non-refundable. Catering's non-refundable. Photographer said she'd refund half. I'm probably out like 8 or 9 grand. Dude. Yeah, but that's better than marrying her and finding out what else she's been hiding after it's too late. Her family's gonna freak. They already are. Her mom called me threatening to sue. Can they do that? Doubt it. But even if they can, I've got better lawyers than they do. We played video games until like 3 in the morning. Didn't talk about Veronica. Just shot zombies and drank beer and tried not to think about how I'd wasted 18 months of my life. Update 2 called Veronica the next morning. Early. Probably woke her up. I'm canceling the wedding. Silence. Then, what? The wedding's off. I can't do this. Cameron, no, we can work through this. There's nothing to work through. You lied about who you are. I can't marry someone I don't trust. But I told you the truth. I gave you the papers. 6 weeks before the wedding after lying for 1.5 years. That's not honesty. That's damage control. This is insane. We love each other. I loved who I thought you were. Turns out that person was made up. She started sobbing. Loud, ugly crying. What about everything we planned? The venue? The photographer? My dress? I'll handle the vendors today. You'll have to deal with your dress. Everyone's gonna know. Everyone's gonna think I'm... You should have thought about that before you got engaged while married to someone else. I hate you. I wasted the best year of my life on you. Goodbye. Veronica. I blocked her number and started making calls. Venue, non-refundable, wouldn't budge. Photographer, agreed to refund half since it was 6 weeks out and she could probably rebook. Catering, completely non-refundable, already ordered food. Florist would refund 60%. DJ would refund 75%. Total damage, around $8,000 I was eating. Plus the $3,000 ring, plus the $4 grand she'd racked up on my card. $15,000. Most expensive mistake of my life. Started getting texts that afternoon from numbers I didn't recognize. You're pathetic. She deserves better than you. Hope you die alone. Blocked every single one. Then around 8 that night, someone started pounding on my door. Really pounding. Open up, we need to talk. Look through the peephole. Veronica's brother Victor. He looked pissed. Go away, Victor. You can't just bail on my sister like this. I'm not discussing this with you. She's devastated. My parents spent thousands on this wedding. You can't just walk away. Your sister lied about being married to 2 other people. I'm not the bad guy here. Everyone makes mistakes. Yeah, and I'm not making the mistake of marrying her. Leave or I'm calling the cops. He kicked my door, hard, left a dent. You're going to regret this. I had my phone out. That's a threat. I'm calling the police now. He kicked it again, and then I heard him running down the hallway. Called the cops. They came out, took a report, said unless he came back or made specific threats, there wasn't much they could do. Filed it anyway. Next morning, Judith called from a different number. We need to discuss reimbursement. There's nothing to discuss. My husband and I put $12,000 into this wedding. We expect to be paid back. You gave your daughter money for her wedding. There's no wedding. That's not my problem. You canceled. You owe us. I canceled because your daughter lied about being married twice. Take it up with her. We'll sue you. We have lawyers. Then call them. Have them explain fraud and breach of contract to you. Specifically, how your daughter getting engaged while legally married voids any agreement we had. She hung up on me. I went to work the next day and my boss called me into his office. Cameron, is everything okay? My stomach dropped. Why? Got a weird email this morning. Someone claiming you've been harassing their family, demanding money, acting erratic. My ex-fiancée's family is upset. I called off the wedding. They're making stuff up. He looked relieved. Yeah, that's what I figured. Email came from a Gmail account. Not exactly professional. Just wanted to check. You're one of my best people. Didn't want to believe it. I can provide documentation if you need it. Nah, we're good. Just giving you a heads up. If they escalate, let me know and we'll get legal involved. So now they were coming after my job. Great. Spent that night looking up Antonio. Found him on social media pretty easily. His profile was public. Recent post from a few months back. If anyone out there is dating Veronica Morrison, do yourself a favor and run. She'll lie, cheat, and leave you broke. Learned that lesson the hard way. Well, that was interesting. Found Derek too, but his profile was private. Sent him a message. Hey, I know this is weird, but I was engaged to your ex-wife Veronica. She just told me about your marriage 2 weeks after your divorce finalized. Would really appreciate talking to you if you're willing. He accepted the request in like 20 minutes. Called me immediately. Dude, holy crap. Get out. Get out now. We talked for over an hour. He laid out the whole thing. Veronica had a pattern. Meet a guy, move fast, get engaged, get married, spend, then move on when the money ran out or the guy caught on. She spent $60,000 during our marriage. 60. Credit cards, personal loans, online shopping, spa days, trips she never told me about until the bills showed up. She told me 35. She's lying. I have all the statements from the divorce. We sold the house specifically to pay off her debt. Even after splitting the proceeds, she walked away with enough to pay off everything and have 15 grand left over. Wanna bet she's already in debt again? She told me 7,000. He laughed. Not a happy laugh. It's more. It's always more. She hides accounts, opens new cards, lies about balances. By the time you catch on, you're co-signed on half of it. She was on my credit card for 3 months, spent over 4 grand. Wedding stuff? That's what she said. Check the statements, really look at them. I guarantee half of it isn't wedding related. After we hung up, I pulled up my credit card account. Went through every charge line by line. He was res alterations, fine. Cake tasting, fine. Wedding shoes, fine. But also, $300 at a spa I'd never heard of. $400 at some boutique. $600 at a different boutique. $200 for room service at a hotel I didn't know she'd stayed at. $150 for drinks at a bar. None of it wedding related. All of it stuff she'd hidden. I called my credit card company. Disputed everything that wasn't specifically for our wedding. Sent them the vendor receipts showing what was actually spent on wedding stuff versus what she'd charged. We'll investigate and issue a credit for approved disputes within 2 weeks, the rep said. Small victory, but I'd take it. My brother texted. Mom said Veronica's family is harassing you. Want me to come down there? I'm okay. Might take you up on it if Victor shows up again. Just say the word. Nobody messes with my little brother. Next few days were quieter. No more texts, no more visits. I started to relax. Then I got a letter from a lawyer. Not my lawyer, Veronica's. Mr. Hayes, I represent Veronica Morrison in the matter of your breach of promise to marry. My client has suffered significant emotional distress and financial loss due to your decision to cancel your wedding without cause. She is seeking compensation in the amount of $15,000 for emotional distress, plus an additional $7,000 for financial losses incurred in preparation for the wedding. Please contact me within 10 business days to discuss settlement. I called my buddy Brett. He's a lawyer, does family law. Cameron, hey, what's up? I need a lawyer. Explained everything. He listened without interrupting. Okay, so first off, she can't sue you for breach of promise. That's not enforceable here anymore. Second, she committed fraud by getting engaged while married. You could countersue her if she pushes this. Third, I'll draft a response letter today. Don't worry about this, it's a scare tactic. She's demanding $22,000. Yeah, and I'm demanding a pony. Doesn't mean I'm getting it. Let me handle this. His response letter was beautiful. Basically said my client owes your client nothing. She committed fraud, she spent money on his credit card without authorization, continued contact will be considered harassment, will countersue if you file. Never heard from her lawyer again. But the harassment from her family ramped up. Victor drove by my apartment 3 times that I saw. Once slow, staring at my window. Called the cops again. They said to get a restraining order if he kept it up. Judith and her husband started calling my parents. My mom shut that down fast. My son did nothing wrong. Your daughter lied to him. Stop calling here or I'll get the police involved. Judith tried the guilt trip. He humiliated her. The wedding was in 3 weeks. Then she should have been honest a year ago. Goodbye. Love my mom. The mutual friends all picked sides. Lost about half of them. The ones who stayed were the ones who actually knew me. Not just Veronica. They'd heard enough red flags to believe my side. One of Veronica's friends, Nicole, actually called me. Hey, I know we're not close, but I wanted you to know. Veronica's been saying some stuff about you being abusive, controlling her money, isolating her, threatening her. I don't think it's true based on what I know, but she's telling everyone. Thanks for the heads up. For what it's worth, she did this with Derek too. After their divorce, she told everyone he was awful. Then I met him at a party once, and he was super normal and had receipts for everything. I think she has a pattern. She definitely has a pattern. Just thought you should know, in case she tries anything legal. After we hung up, I started documenting everything. Printed out the emails, texts, credit card statements, everything. Put it all in a file folder. If she wanted to play the abuse card, I had evidence that told a different story. Brett advised me to get screenshots of Antonio's social media posts too, and to get statements from Derek about their marriage. Build a pattern of behavior. If she files anything, we need to show this is what she does. Serial liar, serial debtor, serial victim. The more documentation, the better. I reached out to Antonio through social media. He responded within an hour. Dude, yes, I will give you whatever you need. She destroyed my credit, lied to everyone about me, and tried to take me for everything in the annulment. I'm happy to help stop her from doing it to someone else. He sent me a notarized statement outlining their relationship and her behavior. Derek did the same. I had 3 men, 3 relationships, same pattern. She moved fast, hid her financial situation, racked up debt, then played victim when it ended. Final update. It's been about 3 months since I called off the wedding. Figured I'd close this out. The harassment eventually stopped after Brett sent cease and desist letters to Victor, Judith, and Veronica's dad. They tried to ignore it at first, but after I filed for a restraining order against Victor for stalking, they all backed off. Victor's restraining order hearing was something else. He showed up with Judith and tried to argue that I was harassing his famous family by spreading lies about Veronica. Judge asked what lies specifically. He's telling people she was married before. Was she married before? The judge asked. Well, yes, but then it's not a lie. Request for restraining order is granted. Mr. Hayes, you'll have a 1-year protection order against Mr. Victor Morrison. He's to stay at least 100 yards from you, your home, and your workplace. Judith tried to argue. Judge told her she was next if she didn't be quiet. Small victory, but it felt good. The credit card company credited me back about $2,400 of the charges after their investigation. Veronica had spent that on personal stuff, not wedding stuff. I submitted all the vendor receipts proving it. Still lost about $1,900 on wedding expenses she charged, but better than $4,000. Total financial damage, around $13,000 when all was said and done. Ring, deposits, charges I couldn't dispute. Expensive, but could have been worse. The wedding would have been 2 weeks ago. I spent that day on the couch with Leo playing video games and eating pizza. Felt weird, but also relieved, like I dodged something huge. Found out through mutual friends that Veronica had told everyone I'd cheated on her. That's why she had to reluctantly call off the wedding. When people asked for details, she'd cry and say it was too painful to talk about. A few mutual friends actually called me to ask. I sent them all the same thing. Copies of the divorce decree showing she'd been married during our entire relationship, screenshots of her spending on my card, and the statements from Antonio and Derek. Most people believed me after that. A few still sided with her. Can't win them all. Derek reached out a few weeks ago. Hey man, thought you'd want to know. Veronica's engaged again. Already? Already. Some guy named Rick she's been dating for like 3 months, saw it on social media. Poor guy. I sent him a message warning him. Didn't respond. Probably thinks I'm a bitter ex. I thought about doing that too. My lawyer said it could open me up to harassment claims. Yeah, mine said the same thing, but I figured I'd try anyway. She's gonna do to him what she did to us. Probably, but if he doesn't Google her or ask questions, that's on him. Antonio, Derek, and I all have our stories online now. Public posts detailing the pattern. If Rick bothers to search her name, he'll find us. If he doesn't, well, good luck to him. As for me, I'm doing okay. The trust issues are real. I'm in therapy working through them. Dating again, but taking it slow. Background check on the 3rd date, credit check before anything gets serious. Probably paranoid, but I don't care. The financial hit stung, but I'm recovering. Got a raise at work recently, that helped. Living in the same apartment, but I rearranged everything. Got rid of stuff that reminded me of her. Feels more like mine now. The anger's mostly faded. Now it's just this weird mix of relief and disbelief. Relief that I found out before the wedding. Disbelief that I almost didn't. If she'd waited just 6 more weeks to tell me, I'd be husband number 3 right now. Probably drowning in her debt, fighting with her family, dealing with divorce lawyers. Instead I'm here. Single, broke-ish, but free. My mom keeps telling me I dodged a bullet. I think it was more like a missile. A financial, emotional, legal missile that would have destroyed my life. The hardest part is accepting that the person I fell in love with never existed. She was playing a role. The perfect girlfriend, the dream wife. All of it was performance designed to get to the altar before I figured out who she really was. And she almost made it. Sometimes I think about that night at dinner when she handed me those papers. For weeks I couldn't figure out why she told me. Why not just say nothing? I wouldn't have found out before the wedding. Then Brett explained it. She told you because she needed to control the narrative. If you found out after the wedding, you could annul it or divorce her immediately for fraud. If she told you before, played the honesty card, guilted you into going through with it anyway, then you're locked in. Can't claim fraud because she disclosed it. Pretty smart, actually. Smart and terrifying. I ran into Nicole, Veronica's friend who'd warned me, a few weeks back. She said Veronica had stopped talking to her after she'd asked too many questions about the engagement to Rick. She's doing the same thing she did with you, moving fast, talking about moving in together, probably engaged by Christmas. I tried to warn Rick, but he blocked me, called me a jealous friend trying to ruin her happiness. She's good at playing victim. She's had practice. We got coffee and talked for an hour. She apologized for not warning me sooner, said she'd had suspicions but thought maybe Veronica had changed. People like that don't change though, she said. They just find new people who don't know their history yet. She's right. And that's the scariest part. Veronica's out there right now with some new guy, probably feeding him the same lines she fed me, probably moving toward a wedding, and he has no idea what he's getting into. Part of me wanted to warn him. Actually wrote out a message a few times, but Brett shut that down hard. Do not contact him. Do not contact her. Do not engage at all. You have a restraining order against her brother. She could claim you're harassing her. Let him figure it out on his own. So I didn't send it. Just hoped he's smarter than I was. Last thing, got a text from an unknown number last week. I'm sorry for everything. I know I messed up. I hope you're happy. You deserved better than what I gave you. Didn't respond. Showed it to Brett in case it was her violating the no contact. He said it was vague enough that it wasn't technically a violation, but to document it anyway. Haven't heard anything since. I'm moving on. Slowly, carefully, with way more questions for the next person who wants to get serious. But moving on. And every time I see that divorce decree, yeah, I kept it. I remember, she wasn't trying to be honest with me. She was trying to lock me down before I found out the truth. Almost worked too, but hey, at least I'm not husband number 3. That poor title belongs to Rick now. Good luck, buddy. You're gonna need it.